Welcome to the third episode of 1 year. This podcast today is going to be significantly shorter than the usual ones because I have to study for a midterm on Tuesday. But I promised myself that I would make one of these every Sunday, no matter fucking what. And I'm here. I'm doing it despite the fact that I'm busy and I have to study. But I will be making sure that this podcast is under 20 minutes, hopefully 30, maybe. But yeah. I want to reiterate the purpose of the podcast and say that it is not for views. This is for myself, for creating a personal journal to the growth that I want to make this year in several different aspects, mostly personal, business, and school. Those are the three spaces that I touch on and work on every single week and every single day. And I want to use this as a way to hold myself accountable. If you guys weren't here or haven't seen or are watching this on YouTube, I do this podcast live. So we have some people in chat here who are listening live. But I made this podcast and I made this kind of platform to focus on spending 2023 to better myself and work towards achieving a lot of goals I wasn't able to make in 2022. I found myself struggling in a lot of different places, mentally, physically, and emotionally. So it is called 1 year because I'm making sure that every single fucking day I am working to basically create the best version of myself. And you guys are very welcome to come and listen and to hear what I'm doing to do that, because I want everybody to have kind of the skill set and the ability to do that, because everyone should have the ability to be the best version of themselves. So anyways, if you haven't seen the other podcasts, we work, as I said, on talking about my personal, business, and school growth. So might as well get into personal. If I'm being honest, this week was a rough week for me. I felt myself being very tired and didn't really have a lot of drive or motivation to get anything done. And everyone kind of can relate to that. They have weeks or days like that where they feel like shit and feel like they don't want to do anything. So this week was definitely a test for me to see, even if I didn't have the motivation, if I had the discipline to get what I wanted to get done. And yes and no, I was able to get what I wanted to get done, the minimum that I wanted to get done. I did. And I felt myself feeling very tired and very sleepy and not as energized as I was the week before. And I think I can boil that down to honestly just sleep. Very simply, I didn't get as much sleep as I should have. I tend to wake up between the hours of 5:30 and 6. That's what I currently do. And because I want to get on with my day very early on, that means I have to go to bed at 10:30 to get 7 to 7.5 hours of sleep, because that's the range you have to get. You have to get 7 to 7.5 hours of sleep. Otherwise, your body isn't functioning. You aren't recovering. I'm working out. I'm weightlifting 6 days a week. I am doing jiu-jitsu and cardio on several other days, and I have one day that's an active recovery day. So I need sleep to recover because I'm not taking a single day off of active work and activity. So it's really important that I maximize and try and focus on getting good sleep. I'm seeing in chat someone saying that they sleep for 5. That is problematic. You need to be making sure you get 7 to 7.5 hours of sleep, because if you are not, your body is not recovering. If you do physical exercise, if you study, your brain is not recovering. And I'm saying this, I was getting 6 to 6.5 hours of sleep. A lot of people saying they don't sleep. Yeah, guys, you need to be sleeping for 7 to 7.5 hours, like minimum. I know you guys, a lot of my viewers here tend to be much younger, but guys, 7 to 7.5, that's fucking minimum you need to be getting, because you won't be recovering, and sometimes you guys feel like you need to prioritize something earlier so that you can get it done and sleep less. I used to sleep like at like 4 and wake up at 6:30 for school. It's okay, so this is a great point that I'm seeing in chat. That's so much time wasted. That's 7 to 7.5 hours of time that I could be grinding. If you do not get the 7 to 7.5 hours of sleep, what you are doing during the day is worthless. And I say that in the sense that if you are getting less than that, you are working at such a low level during the day because you don't have the energy and you don't have the mental clarity to work as hard as you can during the hours that you're awake. It is so much more important that you get those additional hours of sleep because they make up such a more significant portion of mental clarity. It is so important because you basically get a boost of energy. You get a boost of adrenaline from just sleeping and waking up. So you're almost like when you sleep and wake up, you are having a massive espresso shot. You are waking yourself up and getting your body ready to take on what you're doing. But anyways, we're going to get back to what I was saying. The reason why I felt myself not sleeping as much was that I want to get to bed at 10:30, right? I end stream or end work at 10 on the dot. But I find myself not going to bed until 11:30, which is a bit of a problem because I'm not getting the 7 to 7.5 hours. So between that time of 10 to 11:30, I'm doing nothing. I am trying to shut myself down, but I also notice myself pushing that 10 o'clock to 10:30 and finishing work or finishing stream at 10:30. And I know that it takes myself 45 minutes to an hour to wind down. So obviously I'm ending at 11 to 11:30 because I'm pushing myself and pushing past that 10 o'clock. So I'm making sure for myself that I am creating a strict sleep deadline. Basically, a sleep deadline being at 9:30. At 9:30, I shut off. That is it. I turn off all my computer, I turn off my lights, I go and take a nice hot shower. As I've said in the first podcast, if you warm your body up, like having a hot tea or having a hot shower, like I do, your body starts to cool down, which is perfect for going to sleep. So I have a hot shower and I have a hot tea and I get in bed and read a book. That's what I want to do from those 45 minutes. But if I'm ending at 10 to 10:30, I'm not going to bed until 11:15, 11:30, and I'm only getting 6 hours of sleep. But it's because I'm pushing my work and my stream a little bit later. So I need to just shift everything a little 30 minutes earlier, which either means I take 30 minutes out of my eating and restrict how long I have, because I find myself eating for like an hour, lunch and dinner, which I just don't need to do. But anyways, main point, it's more important that you have a sleep deadline than you do have like an alarm clock when you're waking up. Because if I know that I'm basically creating a hard out at 9:30 to go to bed, I know that I am creating and getting the minimum hours of sleep no matter what time I wake up, which is I typically wake up between 5:30 and 6. So if I'm going to bed at 9:30, I know I'm going to bed at 10 to 10:30. I'm winding down at 9:30. But if I'm going to bed at 10 to 10:30, I know for a fact I'm getting the 7 to 7.5 hours of sleep, which, as I've said, is so important. The reason why I say this is because I felt myself slip this week. And I know it's because of this. I've missed a lot of my meditations, a lot of my sleep. My workouts have not been as good. So I am making sure. Oh, I forgot my water. I'm making sure that I'm getting 7.5 hours over anything and everything. I'm prioritizing sleep over everything. Because it also allows me to get more recovery time for jiu-jitsu. Which I'm really excited to do. I have just got around to doing it, and I had my first proper session yesterday, and I am fucking battered, bruised, and blistered. I may send a photo to my Discord of what my fucking feet and my hands look like. They are awful. They are so blistered, and I feel so beaten up. But it was fucking awesome. It was awesome. So I'm probably after my midterm going to go and get a membership. Oh, did my stream crash? No. No, we're good. We're good. We're good. I think, right? Good. Good. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go get a membership after my midterm, and I want I also need to get my kimono as well, which I'm really excited about. The ones at my gym look fucking so sick. I will be 100% posting photos with them in. So, I look forward to that. I also am looking forward to training. I want to train jiu-jitsu 3 to 4 times a week and just go fucking nuts with it, because it is so perfect for me. I have felt myself losing competitive spirit over the past, I don't know, 1 to 2 years, especially during COVID. If for those people that don't know, during high school, I was a serious athlete. I basically played every sport under the sun, was training and have been training tennis for over a decade and a half, and was at a serious competitive skill level, as well as competing for my school and training every single day, training before training and after training. It just all the fucking time. That's what I was breathed and consumed, just competitive sports. And I just to go from that to nothing in university is such a bad shift. It is a ridiculous shift that especially for guys is really, really bad, because I think there was a study that said that if guys go about having competitive, especially physical competitive like sports, anything that relates to competitive nature in a physical aspect, it increases testosterone. And obviously everyone hears that word, which is just related to how man are you, but testosterone is really important for having mental clarity, focus, especially in guys at least, because it creates that mental connection when you do something good. That's your, and it's, sorry, if you get a piece of success and you feel that dopamine hit, that's your testosterone doing that. Because as a male, if you perform something hard because you're testosterone, it's a good thing. So it's really bad if you're a guy and aren't competing in like physical activity. So make sure, guys, you always try and do some competitive nature. I also want to say that that does not include video games or any kind of like mental competitive nature, strictly physical. Physical competition is really important, and I'm also very happy that I found a new avenue to explore that with jiu-jitsu. But yeah, that was it with personal. It was a tough week, but I know that if I focus on my sleep, it will be much better for next week. Eric, we can spar. We can spar. But anyways, next section would be business, in which I definitely slacked this week. I didn't hit any of my targets for what I wanted to get done this week. Any of my goals, my weekly goals, I didn't get done. Simply because I had a shit ton of assignments and studying that I needed to do. But that's not really an excuse because I had the time for it. Yeah, I was pretty disappointed with myself. I didn't get any real coding done. I did like the minimum that I had to do, like my my courses. It's obviously not school courses, but like my academy courses. I got the minimum that I needed to do, but it was definitely not enough. And I realized this week when I actually heard a quote that kind of encapsulate why it's so important to still work on building my business and building the basically valuable skills of what I want to use with my business. It's important to do it when you're busy, especially when you're busy, because if you do it when you're busy, it's going to feel like a fucking breeze when you're not busy. And that was kind of like, obviously, right? It's a kind of simple thing. But if you don't do it when you're busy and you'll just find yourself pushing it off, because you'll find another excuse and another reason about why you can't work on building a project or building something you want to work on, because you never started working on it when you were busy. So it basically reminded me that no matter if I have assignments, no matter if I have a midterm or need to study, I need to put in the hours for building what I want to build, building my business, building my brand, whatever it is. I need to make sure I have the minimum hours, because I believe in what I'm doing with it. I believe that building a personal business and building a personal brand is the future of basically creating wealth and creating success over a standard job. Obviously, I still want to go about trying to get like maybe a standard job, but my focus is definitely towards trying to build a brand and building a business, because I want to be successful, I want to be wealthy, and easiest way to do that is with a business. And with that, that's about it for business, because as I said, I didn't do much. I slacked and I need to get back on it. Build when I'm busy so that when I'm not, it's much easier. That's the main point. But actually school's the next section, and I did a lot of schoolwork this week, especially learnt 2 strategies that I want to focus on and talk about that really helped me and kind of I'm going to use to apply in the future. But the first thing is active recall. And this is like brought up whenever you look up studying techniques. Oh, active recall. And like, I never really tried it, never really thought about it. I was like, it doesn't, like, that's what I do anyways. Like, right? Basically, active recall is do a practice question, look at the solutions, do it again. And I was like, yeah, that's what I do. I do that every time I do practice questions because I'm in engineering. That's how you do, like, that's how you study. But I was doing it very wrong. And actually, something that helped me connect it was when I was studying with my friend Eric last year for our finals. I asked him how he studies because he's a very good student. I asked him, what do you do when you study? And he said, I focus on understanding the concept over anything. And I was like, yeah, that's what I do. And then like took away my ego a little bit and went, no, I fucking don't do that. I do as many practice questions as physically possible and then go, whoa, wait, I don't understand what's actually going on here. Especially when I'm doing the practice questions with the solutions pulled up right in front of me. Clearly there's something going wrong there. So the technique that I've been using is active recall, and I've been doing it the proper way, which is you try the practice question entirely by yourself. This is also something Eric mentioned to me, is he tries his absolute best to do the practice question as hard as physically possible. And then afterwards, once you finish the question and try and get an answer to the best of your ability, you look at the solutions. And this is the main point that I've realized. When you look at the solutions, don't write anything on your like worksheet or your notebook. Don't write anything. Just look at the solutions. Don't even look at your original answer. Just look at the solutions, read through it, go, okay, this is how they did it. Almost like you're trying to read through like a book or read through a script. Have a look at it and then go, okay, I think I understand what's going on. Close the tab, close the solutions, put it away, and then actively try to recall how you did it and how they did it and restart the question and do it again. So the way that it was really easily explained to me is if I put on screen 2 + 2 = 4, just like put it up in text and you guys could see it right in front of you. You'd go, yeah, that's 2 + 2 = 4. Everyone knows that. But if I say 2 + 2 = 4, you guys think about it and go, 2, yeah, 2 + 2 = 4. You think about it. That's recalling that action of basic mathematical arithmetic. But if I show it on screen and you look at it on the screen, that's not you using your brain there. That's just simply you reading it and going, yeah, that's how you do it. So that's something I really thought about and took actual mental note of when I was studying this weekend. Because I think I was so used to doing practice questions after practice questions after practice questions and thinking I was getting it done. But obviously it was kind of just not worth it because I'm not actually learning anything. I'm not understanding the concepts. So the thing I took away from it was focus on understanding the concept over anything, over doing the practice questions, over doing anything. Once you understand the concept and feel confident with it, then go on to the next practice questions. And say you spend like 30 minutes trying to understand a concept and you don't get it, write it down, come back to it when your brain is maybe has more energy or you want to have a quick look at it again to see if you can get it. I have a few things that I need to write after this stream, go and have a look at to make sure that I understand how to do it. But yeah, that was the main kind of studying idea. But the next thing that I learned and want to use in the future is what's the best way of describing it? I think the way that it was described when I was reading about it was make an effort towards focusing on focus over time. Meaning that you want to put an emphasis on what your mental ability of focusing on studying and focusing on work is, and make that the priority. You want to prioritize focus over time, because you can spend 6 hours like looking at anything and studying of anything, but if you're not focused on it, it's worthless. It is fucking pointless. There is no way that I could ask you a simple question on the topic if you've been looking at it for 6 hours and not being focused on it. There's no point. Whereas 2 hours of unbelievable focused work, that's unequivocal to any amount of unfocused work, because I'm prioritizing focus over time. And the way that I was reading about the best way to do it is doing it earlier in the morning. Because as I said, when you wake up and you are waking up in a good time, waking up is basically taking like a shot of espresso. When you wake up, you are getting energy for the day. So why not put that energy, the most focused period of your energy, towards studying or towards doing the hardest amount of work that you can then. So the best way that I can do this is, since I wake up at 5:30 to 6, I find myself going to the gym at 7:30. I read for like an hour in the morning and then get like ready for the day over the next like 30 minutes. But I go to the gym from 7:30 to 9 to 9:30 if I'm pushing it and having a long session. But on the days that I start class at around 11 or 10:30, I'm gonna make sure that I push my gym session towards the closest, towards my first period, towards my first class. Because what I find myself doing after the gym is I find myself eating, I find myself like just kind of relaxing. But if I spend that hour or that hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours on some days that I have done a class, if I put that at the start and use that as my most focused and most just give it my all in those first hour to 2 hours, I think that's just so important. That could be so helpful. And then I go to the gym, and going to the gym actually gives you energy. I don't know if people know that, but going to the gym is almost equal to sleep. It's like having a shot of coffee or having an energy drink. Although everyone feels tired, if you give yourself 15 to 30 minutes, you are so much more awake and so much more energized than before your gym session. Like taking a cold shower, it produces adrenaline and produces endorphins in your brain so that you have the energy to go about what you're doing. So I won't be tired for my classes because I will have just gone to the gym, but I also will have produced an hour and a half to 2 hours of just focused work in the morning just after I wake up. So that's something I'm going to go about doing. It doesn't really work towards my midterm because my next class tomorrow is at 9:30, and I still obviously want to prioritize the gym over that. So I am gonna put that in starting after my midterm on Wednesday. So that's my plan. Before I go to the gym, I will make sure that I have had about an hour to 2 hours of hard focus work. Yeah. I think that's it for the podcast. I think we're done.